All right, brothers and sisters, your sister Queen is back and we're on. So, as I told you and as I promised you that I was going to have a little part 3 just to talk about just a follow up of that relationship that we just talked about on the last 2 podcasts. And I told you that I was going to come up with some suggestion or affirmations that we can use while addressing the situation, or certain things, certain ideas, to keep being consistent in your relationship so things don't get worse. So why don't we get started? Thank you for being here and let's go. All right, and we're back. So one of the first idea that came to mind was about talking, because the idea was if your relationship is not working out, stay, meaning that spend some time, talk to your partner, make sure that if you're not saying that's exactly what we both want, that a week later, 2 weeks later, we're not going to change our mind. And eventually, if we start seeing other people, that we're not going to cheat on these people with each other because we've made up our minds. So one of the first thing was let the person know. Let the person know mean that I'll give you an example before I even get into it. For example, at in my family, they know that once my door is closed, that's mean I'm focused. I'm doing something. I'm either meditating, I'm in prayer, I just need some time, or something is going on with me and I just need some time to think. I need some space. So my door is closed. It doesn't mean that they cannot come and see me. It doesn't mean that if there's an emergency, if they need me, but they will not just bust open my door. I mean, except for my 9-year-old, but they will not just come bust my door open like, hello, we here and disturb my peace. Once in a blue moon, of course, they will try to, bother me because I'm so cool, I'm cool like that. According to me, that is. But, yeah, if my door is closed, because my door is usually always open, if they come home and, for whatever reason, if they were out, if they come home and my door is closed, they are not going to, if they need something, they may come and tell me, oh, this is what happened, or the neighbor's here, or if it's not anything that's important, they're not just going to come in. They know that once my door is closed, I may be in prayer, I may be in meditation, and I need my time, and they will let it be. Or even sometime if they might need me for something and they come, they open the door a little bit, and then they see me, I may be, I don't know, lighting on my candles or something. What did my daughter say recently? I don't remember what she said, but it was so funny. Once I start doing my own little thing, they just they don't want to be part of it. Something like that. Something funny. It was weird. It was just funny. So, but they know, they know that, I'm not just going to close the door to watch TV. I'm not just going to close the door. I don't even know because I'm really, I don't know. But they know I'm not just going to close the door to be on the phone and I don't know, gossip. That's not my forte. They know that I'm not going to close the door if I'm not home. They know that if the door is closed, I'm up to most of the time when the door is closed is usually when I'm in prayer. When I'm in meditation, I don't want to be disturbed. They know that they're not going to come in and be like, hello, someone is here for you. They're not going to do that. They're just going to peek in and they're going to tell the person, well, can you wait? Do you have time? And usually I don't have people just show up unannounced like that anyway. I'm far away from families and friends that, I don't have to worry about that. They definitely have to plan their trip when they come to see me. So I do know, but yeah, but this is like a communication. They're already aware, of what's going on, you know. I've already communicated that and they understand it, they accept it. They might not want it. It's probably more easier for them when my door is always open. They can just walk in and out and come and bother me and ask me for things and yada yada. It's probably easier for them. But the fact that I set a boundary and I set some limitation, I say, you know what, I need this for me. They understand it, or they may not understand it, but they respect it. So it's the same thing for, because a lot of times people think that relationship is something apart from other relationships. It's pretty much the similar process. It's the similar boundaries. It's the similar things that, sometimes some stuff you use in relationship is the same thing you might use with your 2-year old. It might be the same you use with your teenager. It might be the same you use. I don't want to say your pet, but sometimes it might be the same too. You know, so let it be known. Tell the other person. If you see me distant, if you see me doing something, this is what's going on. I knew someone, and whenever they're distant, I know that they sinking. Whenever they're distant, it's not something they told me, but it's something that I eventually observe. This person was very close to a family, and the person went away. They passed pretty much. And whenever I see them distant, I know they're gonna sink into a dark place. So I have to quickly, you know, get ready for rescue. So let the other person know whenever you see me distant, I'm just making myself better, or I'm just studying. I'm just sharpening my focus. I'm just recharging. I've been depleted from my energy, so I'm recharging my energy. I'm recharging myself, because you know what? I wanna do better. I wanna do more. I wanna, let it be known. Let the other person know. Don't just start suddenly disappearing in the afternoon to go to the community college, and you just never say anything. You just keep on going there, and every afternoon they're waiting for you, or evening they're waiting for you to have dinner, and you're nowhere to be found. You don't answer your phone, you don't do anything, so nobody knows what you were up to. Don't go and take a class and tell no one about it. And when they're looking for it, no one can find you. No one have any explanation. Nobody knows where you are, and causing a dent in your relationship that you didn't have to. So you gotta consistently communicate. If you know that you want to start going to church on Tuesday, on Wednesday, let it be known. I'm gonna go to Bible study every Wednesday. So now the person knows they have the option to say, "Oh, really? I love Bible study." I know some will do that. "Oh, let me come with you," even if they hate it, but they'll come with you just so they could limit your ability to socialize with other people. Hey, we got to tell the truth, right? So, yeah, communicate. We can avoid so much trouble if we would just communicate. And that's not only for the big relationship, but for the little relationships as well. For the relationship with our children, for the relationship with anybody in our lives. We would fix things so much quicker, so much easier if we would just communicate. "Oh, remember I told you I was going to do this? Oh, that's right. You're right. You did tell me that. I didn't remember. I'm sorry." All right, move on. But when you don't communicate, now you don't come home on time. Now the other person, instead of telling you what's going on, why you late, they don't say anything. They're just mad. They just leave the food on the table and just go to bed. Or they just decide, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna call my friends and I'm gonna go out." So he's hanging with his friend. They go and assume something that's not even true. And now not only they want to hang out with their friends, they can't even hold their alcohol. Now they go and drink. Next thing you know, when somebody end up with a DUI, DWI, and next thing you know, while on medication, and next thing you know, who knows? Maybe they were picking up the baby. The baby was in the back seat. Now they end up going to jail. The baby end up being removed. See, so many things can happen just because we don't have we don't do one simple thing: communicate. I have seen families broken up. I have seen parents lose their kids. I have seen kids lose their parents. I have seen, you know, the grandparents lose their own kids. And I'm saying that grandparents lose their kids, the parents, they lose them because somebody couldn't just have a simple minute to communicate. People just didn't want to take the time to communicate, which could have saved them so much trouble, saved so much time, saved so much energy. For example, I've seen sometimes people end up in big trouble because one went ahead and pick up the kids from school. If you're picking up the kids, let the other one know because you usually don't pick up the kids. So that's your kids too, I understand. But let the person know so they don't have to leave their job early, run to pick up the kids while it was your duty to pick up the kids. So now you pick up the kids, you didn't tell them. They left work, almost lose their job, rushing, almost got into accidents. And then only to get there to find out, oh no, their dad picked them up. Their mom picked them up. But why didn't you call and say, you know what, I'm going to pick up the kids today to go have ice cream? Why didn't you just say something? But that's what I mean. If we just choose to have the conversation, because peace is not something that is going to be, how do you say, that's going to be forced into you. Peace is something that you choose. Happiness is not something that's going to be forced on down your throat. It's something that you're going to choose to do. It's something that you're going to choose to be. Being loved or being loving is not something that's going to be forced onto you. No one is going to force you to be loving, to be kind, to be sweet. That's going to be a choice that you make. When you see someone walking down the street smiling, it doesn't mean that their life is perfect. I remember there were times and there are still times I'm in so much pain, but I'm still smiling. Sometimes, unfortunately, there was a time I couldn't even smile because I had so much issues going on medically. And my face was pretty much frozen. My jaw was locked. I couldn't open my mouth. I couldn't do so many things. But I still fight my way to put out a smile. Not because things were perfect. Not because everything was the way I wanted it to be. But because that was the choice that I made. Ever since I was a child, I made a choice to smile. I made a choice to laugh because I've seen what happened to other people. I've heard stories. I've seen things my own self that sometimes life can take some very harsh turn. But if we don't smile now to have these memories that there was a time that you used to smile, what are you going to do when time get tough? You're gonna if you keep being mean and keep being upset and keep being cold all the time, all you're gonna have in memory was being cold. So even when things are gonna get cold for you, you're just gonna remain cold because there was no time that you're gonna remember. There's no picture of you smiling anytime. Because I remember sometime when I was having my tough moments, it's when I look at those pictures, I'm like, wow, I miss my smile. I can't wait to smile like this again. I can't wait to laugh like this again. It's when I'm listening to stuff like this, I'm like, wow, I used to laugh. I can't wait to laugh like this again. So make it a habit. Make it a habit to smile, to laugh, to have things in your head, things in memory that you can say, you know what, there was a time. Lose weight if you need to. So there's a time you can look back and say, you know what, I know I put on some weight, I put on some pounds, but there was a time I used to look like this, so I can look like this again if I want to. There's a time in your life, work hard. Work hard so you can have a lot of money, so you could be comfortable, because then there may be a time you don't have access to that anymore. Then there's a time you can wake up and you could look back and you could say, oh, wow, I'm so glad there was a time that I had a lot of money. I could do whatever I want. So that's mean today I can do it again. A lot of time when people fall into despair, it's because they don't have something to look up to. They don't have something to go back to and say, you know what, there was a time I did this. There was a time they don't have that. So then that's how sometimes people fall into a dark place and they're not able to get out because there's no memory of when things were good for them. It was always a rough time. It was always a hard time. And they never really were able to raise their hopes up to say that, there's better out there. I'm going to do better. So as I said, as we started this, Let the person know. When you know that some things that have changed, your schedule have changed, your perception have changed, your feelings are changing or have changed. Don't sit there and waste somebody's time and energy. Let them be free. Let them go about their business. It's gonna hurt. If you let them go, it's gonna hurt. It doesn't matter how cold you are, how warm you are, or hot you are, it's gonna hurt. But it's only gonna be for a while. It's not gonna be forever. It's just like, imagine when you have a toothache. You don't have a toothache for the rest of your life. You have a toothache for today. You have a toothache for this week, for this month, or even for the year. But not forever, honey. Nothing lasts forever, especially when it's bad. So you hang in there. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. And we are back. So I'm gonna try to go through some of these ideas and suggestions as quick as I can, because I know everybody's busy and they wanna go about their business. They wanna do what they need to do. So let's get into it. So instead of fighting all the time, I say find the best in each other. What is it that used to make you laugh and smile about this person? So find that idea, find that picture, find that momentum, find that thing again, and smile and laugh. Try to see if you can focus on the solution of things. Don't just focus on how things are not working, how the neighbors have it going on. They have new cars, they fix their house, they do this, they do that. Everybody's having good life except for you. Your life is so upside down, it's so miserable. Your kids don't love you, nobody loves you. No. Try to focus on solutions. If something happened, find out what can be done to fix it. Don't Your kids took your car and run into a tree or broke something or put the wrong gas in it. Don't keep focusing on, oh my God, you're no good, you this, you just careless. No, just focus on the solution. I know sometimes, listen, I'm not saying this because I'm perfect, because I got it, because I never make a mistake. I got it because maybe at some point too, I made the mistake of certain things. I wasted energy and time on some things that otherwise I could have just moved on. Have I listened to a podcast like this? Have I had someone reminding me that I can do better? So just do your best. Do your best. I know sometimes, like, still now, although I do it all the time with my kids, like, they would do something and then they expect me to be so mad. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it is. And still, I mean, the fact that you do that doesn't mean that your kids are going to be careless. They're not. I remember one time I was teaching my daughter how to drive, and she did something and she thought I was going to be so mad. She'd run over something and I just kind of like laugh. I didn't necessarily want to laugh. There was nothing funny about it, but I know she was already in a position where she's so nervous. I mean, she could have just, shoot herself in the leg. I mean, she's not going to do that. Definitely. But I'm just saying, as an expression, like, sometimes someone did something, they feel so bad about it. And then sometimes we forget about our humanity. Instead of trying to make that person feel better, we make them feel even worse than they're already feeling. And they only feel so worse because not only they know they did the thing, they know that what they did already hurt you or already won't make you happy for the least. So, they already feel so bad. So why make them feel worse? I know my son broke one of my good plates, and he knew I liked that plate, and then he did it by accident. I think he was turning or something, and he meant to do well while he was either cleaning the table, and then he turned around and he dropped it. So he came, picked it up, and I don't even allow him to do things like that. But I was in the room working on something, so he came and He's like, already his eyes are watery, ready to cry because he's thinking he's in trouble. Because if they watch TV, if they read books, because kids always get in big trouble for breaking things in the house. So he's already in his mind like, oh, he's going to get in trouble or something. And he came and he's like, Mommy, I'm so sorry. I broke your plate. And he's so sweet. And it's like, oh, and that alone already broke my heart. The fact that he felt so bad, because I don't care for these things. You can always replace them. But he came and, and I appreciate that he understood that, he did something that might not seem so pleasant. But in reality, in my world, I don't even care for these things. You break them, you could break them all today, and we'll get some more tomorrow. We get paper plate if we all became shaky to the point that we couldn't hold glass or ceramic or that kind of a thing. So things like that are not important to me. But he came, he was so broken already. He was so sad that he made this mistake. And I just told him, I said, baby, don't touch it. You don't have to touch it. You should have just come get me and I take care of it. And I said, it's okay. It's not a big deal. And he was so relieved. His face was just like, until today, if you ask them, they'll tell you. It's like when they tell these stories, when my daughter tells their story, it's like something was wrong with me. The fact that I wasn't so upset, like people, they so used to be around people sometimes that get so upset sometimes, or they see things, or when their friends get in trouble, it gets so ugly. So it's like to them, when you don't react, it's almost as if like it's a shock. Even if you don't have the habits of getting mad and upset. Like in my world, in my house, we do our best to talk. I don't go flipping out things, flipping out tables. Who took my, uh, I don't even eat donuts like that, but who ate my donut? Who ate the last piece of bread? Like, no, I don't care for things like that. We take it one step at a time. And they're so sweet sometimes. If there's like that last piece of bread or bagel left, they will try to leave it for me. And me, if I come, I see that's the last piece, I'll leave it for them. And honestly, at the end, we end up putting it in the garbage because we both keep thinking, oh, she's going to work, she's going to need it. Oh, she's home, she's going to need it. So we go back and forth in our head, not even saying it. And at the end, we end up throwing it out. And when I come or when they come, they find it bad. They're going to be like, I left it for you. How come you let it go bad? And if I come, I'm going to be like, I left this for you guys. Why you guys let it go bad? So, but have we just said, oh, I see there's a last piece of bread. I know you like them. I leave it for you. And one of us would eat it or we just cut it. So then we end up, now we say it. We say it out loud. There's a last piece of bread. Anybody want some? Anybody want to share it? There's a one bagel left. Anybody want to take half of it? We talk about it. But it's the same thing, sometimes find a solution in your relationship that works instead of fighting over things that are not going to get you anywhere. Have a conversation, be solution oriented. um if if someone approach you, your kids, your wife, your husband approach you with a problem, um respond to them solution oriented. Don't respond to them. What do you mean you broke the key? Why in the world you broke the key? You always breaking keys. That's always what you do. That's all you do. You always breaking. No. Just say, really? Can it start the car? Can it do something? Do we have to tow the car? Like, find a solution and things so you can move on faster to the next things, to the next best thing. Because a lot of times that's what we do. We just keep on focusing on that one thing that happened. And so we never get to the bottom of anything. We always end up fighting instead of finding solutions or instead of getting things done, because all we do is somewhat fight because we don't believe there's any solution in where we are and what we're doing. So why don't we take a break and let's be right back. And we are back. So the next thing I want to share with you is celebrate your successes. I know sometimes they seem so small. I mean, hello, you just have one little communication today, no big deal. You got to work harder to get more. No, every time that you do something positive, you won the day. You did what you were supposed to do. You did what you were meant to do. You did what you were sent here to do. Every time you do something positive, it's a plus, it's a success. Celebrate. I'm not saying every time to go have ice cream because I'm not going to be responsible for nobody gaining weight. However, find a way to celebrate. Maybe you could celebrate by hey, maybe your partner could give you a kiss. You could remind them, hey, listen, I won today. You see, I didn't yell at you. I talked to you about that thing. I didn't talk at you, but I talked to you. We talked together. We talked with each other. Did you see how much better that communication happened today? Hey, if your partner is that kind of a person, they can listen because everything is a step by step process. It's not going to happen overnight. So you could let them know, hey, listen, I allowed my employees to do this and that today. Usually I don't. Usually I don't care. But now I'm learning to do better. I want to do better. I want to be a better, nicer person. So, hey, there you go. This is what we're going to do. So celebrate your success no matter how small or how big they seem to you. Celebrate them. Don't keep beating on yourself when you think that you missed something. If you missed the train, if you missed the bus, it might be for a good reason. Maybe further down they may end up in an accident, you know. And if they stopped for you, maybe that would have been the stop that would have caused them to miss a light and end up in an accident. But the fact that you missed the bus, you just saved not only yourself but everybody else, because now the bus doesn't stop. You just intervene and save everybody from having to leave a little too early than their time. So celebrate your success. Celebrate your success, because at some point or another it was worse and now it's getting better. So don't beat on yourself when you don't make the changes that you were hoping as quick as you want. Give yourself time. When you're not yet there, you're not where you want to be. You feel like everybody's getting there and you're the only one that's not there yet. It's not true. You're doing what you can. You're doing what you could. You did what you could. You did what you should. So just give yourself time. Give yourself a little bit space. Allow yourself the room to grow. It's one day at a time, and eventually you won't get it. And also, celebrate your success, no matter how small, no matter how big, and don't beat on yourself. That's all you gotta remember. All right, and be consistent. Be consistent. If you start building building those habits, you got to keep doing them. You got to keep doing them so you don't end up being fed up, being burned out, being frustrated. You got to be consistent. Because if you do it, for 21 days, 30 days, eventually, hey, it's going to become part of your habit, but you got to be consistent. If you decided not to yell at anyone anymore, you're going to sit down and have a conversation. No matter what happens, sit down and have a conversation. Because you know what? When you yell, it's not going to change the situation. It may even make it worse. So take your time, have a seat, have a chat, have a talk, and see how you can address things and move forward. But don't sit back and keep beating on yourself and blaming yourself. Maybe you shouldn't have gone. If you didn't go, everything would have been fine and things would have... No, you don't know that. You're just supposing. You're just assuming. You're just hoping if you didn't do this, this wouldn't happen. But it already happened. It's in the past. You're just going to have to learn to move on and see what you can do next time, what you can do better so it doesn't continue to happen. So this is a great time to take a little bit of a break to let you process the information, and we'll be right back. All right? Peace and love. And we are back. So, the next thing we're going to talk about is alignment. Stay in alignment, stay consistent. We were just lastly talking about consistency. So, be consistent, stay in alignment with what you're looking for. If you know you're looking for money, don't go find this little poor girl who's going to church, who's looking to be married, who's a virgin, and hoping for her Boaz to come and praying for her Boaz, and you're gonna come out of nowhere making all these promises, giving all these lies, knowing that it's not true, pressure them to eventually lose their hope, lose their Jesus, sleep with them, and then dump them down the road. Don't do that. Don't do that, because one day you may have a daughter and you may already have a daughter. Stop playing people dirty, because one day it may be your turn, and you just never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You don't know if you're not gonna end up in that person's care. You just don't know what tomorrow might bring. Some people may end up in an accident. They're not able to do anything with themselves. You don't know what tomorrow might bring. So be kind, be respectful, stay in alignment. Whatever it is that you're looking for, stay in alignment with it. If you know you're looking for a career person, you're looking for someone who's looking for money, find somebody who's looking for money, who's looking for the same thing as you. Or better yet, you can stay at it, focus on yourself, do what you do, and this person can focus on themselves, do what they do, and then they can move forward with their lives. But don't come make all these promises, tell this person this is what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do, and then at the end you know you didn't do none of the thing that you promised that you were going to do. So don't do that. Stay in alignment with what you're looking for. Stay focused. Again, meaning that whatever that you got in your head, if you're looking for somebody to spend some time with, you're looking for someone to just hang out, have sex, have fun, go drink, go party, find somebody who's compatible. But don't look for good girls, don't look for good sisters, don't look for single moms. Don't look for people that are vulnerable, that are waiting for something consistent in their lives. You're going to come with all these promises that you're going to bring something consistent. And then when it's time to deliver, you're not able to, because in reality, that's never really what you were looking for. Stay in alignment, because sometimes that's how people end up turning into violence, because you give them so many promises. You told them so much and they actually believed in you. And then when it comes time to deliver, crickets. You're nowhere to be found. Let's not do that. Let's take a break. And we are back. And I know I on the previous track, on the previous conversation, on the last thing we spoke about, and I said, when we do all these things, when you disappoint someone, when you break somebody's heart, sometimes they can, some people turn into violence. I mean, you watch the news, I'm sure, or you hear stories about things that people have done. And by no way, I'm not condoning it. I'm not telling anyone to go do that. Because honestly, I think it's stupid. I think it's so stupid. It's so pathetic. Um, it's unnecessary. People gonna do things to you, but whatever they put you through is not permanent. They may do something to you. Let's say someone broke your leg or broke your arm. That doesn't mean you're gonna permanently lay in bed. It doesn't mean that you are dead. You're still alive. As long as you're breathing, there's hope. Even if you were to be bedridden. There was this lady, she was in so much pain. She was bedridden. But when you come to see her, when you're talking to her, she give you so much life that you don't even understand. Doctors did not even understand. How is she still smiling? How is she still having something positive to say? I've been in some situation my own self that, even the doctors, sometimes the things that come out of their mouth, it's not because it's what they mean to, but sometimes when you see someone suffer so much, and you just don't understand, you know? You just don't understand. You're like, what is going on with you? Like, what is going on? Like, you need to, like, something's got to get done, and sometimes you don't know. And I remember one time I fell into a place that was so full of webs. I couldn't see where I needed to go because I mean things weren't the way they used to be. They weren't the way they should be. And I remember one of my providers told me, and I have a good relationship with this person, and thank God now I have like a really good relationship with just about everybody I have to deal with. Um and he told me, he just held my hand, not like in a movie, but you know how sometimes doctors are exiting, they either tap your shoulder, they say have a good day, or they tap your hand and or they tap your knee, depending whatever that's closer to them, and they just like, have a good day, and they walk out and they leave you with the nurse, something like that. And while the nurse went to get something, and I so appreciated because he did not embarrass me in front of her, but he dealt with me for so long. He knew that something was going on, that this was not me. And he just told me, he's like, listen, whatever it is that you're going through, you decide if it's worth it for you to remain the way that you are. And I don't know if that speaks to you, but it spoke to me. It told me everything that I needed to do. And from that day on, I got up. If I were sitting down, well, I got up. I woke up and I just said, you know what? Enough is enough. And I did what I needed to do. It's just sometimes like when we going through something, we we fall into disappointment, and we don't do what we need to do. That it may be in a relationship, that it may be with a sibling, that it may be with your own children, or your own sibling, your own cousins and nieces and nephews. Sometimes we something happen and we become so um consumed by what happened that we don't do anything. You understand? We become so consumed of the situation. It's like, imagine somebody broke your car, your kids, or your cousin, your little cousin, your nephew, your niece. They went and broke your car or did something stupid to your car, and all it requires may be like $100, $200 to fix the car, and you move forward. But instead of doing that, you become so consumed with what happened. You're mad, you're upset, you're cursing, you breaking yourself, you go into these tantrums, and into those tantrums, you're just breaking your own self, and you don't even realize it. But sometimes all you got to do is stop and make a decision and say, okay, is this situation worth my focus? Okay, it's not. Peace out. Moving on to the next thing. You know, I remember a very good friend of mine, we were good, and for whatever reason was like, hey, I think we you know, some things were going on in both our lives, and then he thought it was a good idea that we get together. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's a good idea, because we've been friends for too long. Sometimes it's not a good idea. Sometimes it's a good idea because you know each other so well, but sometimes it's not a good idea because you're just going through the emotions. You're just thinking that, you can save each other or something. But I didn't think it was a good idea. But after months of talking about it, so by the time we decided that, or I agreed that it was a good idea, I've already started seeing the red flags that it's not a good idea. I pointed them out immediately, and I walked out and I said, no, this is exactly why I thought it was not a good idea. I know you very well. It might sound like it could be a good match, but I know you too well, and you know me well, and it's not. It's not. Your lifestyle is not like mine. Some of your ideas are not like mine, and it's not like because it couldn't work out, because we think differently. But we think so differently sometimes that I think it we're not, I don't know if we're going to be able to respect each other's ideas, because sometimes we can think so differently. You know what I mean? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's like I can have ice cream for breakfast. And well, actually the other way around. Let's say he can have ice cream for breakfast and me, I just want my tea for breakfast, you know? So we are so focused, we are so hard-headed on our breakfast that we can't even compromise. We can't even sit at the table anymore where you have your ice cream and I have my tea. You understand? So before we went any further, before any damages were done, before anything was done, I just like, hey, listen, is this gonna worth my while? Is this gonna worth my time? Is this gonna worth my energy? Is this even gonna worth losing this friendship over? Because usually when you good friends and you get into this relationship, you pretty much a lot of time lose the friendship because sometimes we go so low that we can't even get back to the way things used to be. So you just got to figure out, is it worth your time? Is it worth it? Is it what you want? Is it where you want it to be? Is it what you wanted to do? And make the relevant effort, do everything that's relevant for the both of you to make sure that, okay, this is not going to work for us, but this might work for us. And when I'm saying for us, don't just sit there and make plans on your own for the other. This is like a conversation. You're sitting with each other and you're saying, okay, what should we do? Should we do this? Should we do that? Is this going to work? Is this not going to work? What do you think about this? Sit down together and have a conversation and see what may and may not work. And that's pretty much it. Let's take a quick break and be right back. All right, and we're back. So, as we were saying, these are just some suggestions, some ideas, some inspiration, if you may, that you can use, you can modify to make fit to what you're looking for. So, how about that? You know what you want. He knows what he wants. She knows what he wants. Then don't play games. If you know you want each other, don't play games. Both of you come with the fullness that you are. Come complete. Come as you are, complete or incomplete, but come complete. Come with all of you and say, okay, put it on the table. This is what I want. This is my plan. This is my dream. This is where I want to end up. And you both can discuss it and see how can you go about it. How can you both reach it? How can you make it happen? How can you support one another? She comes and she says, you know what? I want to go back to school. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is what I would like to accomplish. I wouldn't mind having a kid in 2 years and 4 years. Talk about it and see if you're on the same page. Don't start jumping the hoops, sleeping with each other, and then realize later on this one doesn't want any kid, this one wants kids within 6 months, and now you have like a complete chaos. Then before you know it, no one will want to talk to nobody, and now we all upset because we both disappointed. You told me you love me, but you don't really love me. You promised that you were going to make me happy, and now I'm not happy. Forgetting or ignoring that happiness is a personal choice. It's not anything that's dependent on anybody. Your kids can't make you happy. Your parents can't make you happy. Your partner can't make you happy. No one can make you happy but yourself. It's a self-competition. It's a self-fulfillment. It's something that only you can do. I can go out there and give you the world, but if you're not deciding to be happy, it doesn't matter what I do. I can flip over backward. I can jump over a 10-floor building. I can break my leg and my arm. And you're just going to stand there and look at me stupid because you know what? Your unhappiness has been your decision. It was not anything that I did. It was not anything that anybody else did. It just, at a moment in time, something happened and you decided not to be happy, and so be it. You remain that way, regardless what was done, regardless what was said, regardless the efforts that were made. You just decided to be unhappy and you stayed that way. So just do your best. Don't play games. Come to the bottom of things. Come straight, shoot straight, and get straight to the point. All right. Another thing is that when a lot of times you tend to like um blame someone or criticize someone, and you're like, oh my God, why is she like this? Why is he like that? A lot of times it's like as if we're looking in the mirror. I know it's not okay, fine. It's not gonna be 100% all the time. But a lot of the times, almost like that 99.99, when we're upset with someone for something they do, believe it or not, it's because somehow, somewhere inside of us, that's how we are too. You talking about someone being selfish, doing certain things. Sometimes that's the way you are too. Deep inside, it may be something about you that probably would do the same or that probably wants to do the same. And when you're looking at this person living their full life, doing everything they want to do, and you're looking at yourself like you can't even do half of what they do. Sometimes that's what causes the friction, the frustration with you, and then call want or desiring to call them all type of name in the books because they're living their life and you're not able to do that. When you're looking at people going to travel and doing everything that they do and you just can't do that, and you're like, you tell them all kind of stories like, don't you feel unsafe? Don't you know how crazy it is? Don't you know you could get kidnapped, you could get killed, you could get shot at? And you see this person move forward and they went and they did it anyway because they're living by their own dreams, their own command, their own wishes, their own desire. They're not living by yours. So they did what they wanted to do. And when you see them do that, a lot of times, like when you see parents having friction with their kids, that's what it is. The kids are living their life and the parents are upset because the parents wanted you to be doctor, lawyer, and this kid decided, you know what, I'm going to be a graphic artist. Not knowing that the graphic artist is just as good and even better sometimes because you can make even more money. But because they don't understand, they just think like, nah, that's not gonna work out. I remember I was doing a presentation with kids, and the kids were telling me their dreams, and we were clapping. We were glad they even were able to dream. They even were able to comprehend the idea of having a dream is something that you're gonna bring into reality tomorrow. It's not about just sit back and having stuff in your head and leave them there. But they understood that having a dream was to bring the things that are in your head that make you so happy and bring them into reality. So the kid wanted to become a hairdresser. They wanted to do things, and then the parent was upset. The parent was like, "No, no, no! You're not gonna just be a hairdresser. You're gonna own your own salon. Are you kidding me? All this money I'm putting in you, I want you to do more. I want you to be more than that. I want you to." And I'm looking at her like, "Do you know how much a hairdresser makes?" It's like people are so caught up in typical ways of society that they don't even do any research to truly understand how things work. People are so caught up in the grandeur of things. They see, oh, this person is a doctor. This person. In the meantime, a lot of doctors don't even live that large. They're broke because their school loans is probably like two, three, five, $400,000. By the time they finally start making some money, they can't even afford to pay it back. They can't even afford to have a good life because they have to pay back for those that choose to pay back. So it's like, sometimes don't take things the way that you see things are happening in TV, the way that you see romance in TV, and people are just getting married and spending $10,000 in the dress, $10,000 in the ring, $50,000 just to rent the place, and another $50,000 for food and cake and this and that. When you see, these are things that are just being amplified. These are things that are just being done, I don't know, for an economic purpose. People just blowing out money. Sometimes that's not even theirs. Learn to live by your own definition, by your own thing, by your own consistency. Don't go and use somebody else's consistency and thinking that you're gonna make it yours. Be the solution in your headache. Don't always look to blame someone to 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 put your dream on someone else. Like sometimes with regard to the friction we were talking about with kids and parents, it's like sometimes parents want kids to become what they never were. You know, that's not the point. If you want to be a lawyer, go to school and be a lawyer. Don't push your kids to be a lawyer while that kid has no interest in school, while that kid does not want to become a lawyer. That kid just wants to be a game developer. You know, they don't want to have anything to do with it. But oftentimes, parents want to suffocate kids to become what they could ever become, what they could have become, but they never did. So the same goes for relationships. Sometimes you try to make your partner become what you're not even able to be. You want your partner to be on time. You want your partner to be sharp, focused, and ready to go. You want your partner to provide. You want your partner to do extra provision. And when I'm saying provide, I'm not saying the typical way of providing, paying the bills, but you want more out of them. If you go to your friend got a $10,000 dining room, well, you know what? You're going to come home, you're going to be mad, you're going to be cranky, because you know what? Your friend, when you went to their house today, they had this. And I knew a family that was like that. Every time she goes to her friend, to her neighbors, and she see that they have new things, she comes home crying to her husband because she wants that too. She goes and she see them have a new bedroom set. She comes home crying to her husband because she wants that too. Like no, this is their dream. This is their plan. This is the way they want things to run. And you don't know how much debt they're into by doing these things just to show off. So you got to learn to live your own life and do what works for you, not what works for other people. You got to learn about unconditional love, you know, unconditional for yourself, unconditional love for yourself. No matter what you're going through, no matter where you are, no matter what happens in your life, always remember to love yourself. Because a lot of times what we do in relationship or out of relationship or with ourselves alone, when something happens to us, when we went to take the test, we failed. Instead of loving ourselves, we hate ourselves too. We think, or we start the negative self-talk, reminding ourselves how stupid we are, how everybody is right for calling us stupid. Look at how we didn't get it done. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. And we start blaming ourselves. So the same goes sometimes in relationship. When your partner comes home beaten up from work already, don't beat him up on top of it. Have a conversation. Caress him. Let him put his head on your shoulder. Let her put her head on your lap. You know, give her or give him that TLC. Don't beat them on top of it. Because a lot of times you go to work, you're not understood. You go deal with the clients don't understood. You deal with the customers don't understand. And then you come home, you're not understood on top of it. That's not good. That's something that can cause someone to become very unhappy, very resentful, very mean and bitter because they're not understood no matter where they go. So that's another thing. Just remember to love yourself unconditionally. Choose to be happy no matter what, regardless what's going on, regardless what you choose to do, regardless what you've done. And I'm not saying go kill somebody and be like, oh, I choose to be happy, ha ha ha. Hex to the no. No violence for me. But what I mean is, when things happen, if you make a mistake, you have a flat tire, sometime things will happen. Choose to be happy. Don't fall into some crazy situation. Don't go do something stupid just because you forgot to love yourself. So love yourself enough to say, you know what? I could do this, but I'm not going to do it because I love myself so much. I remember like sometimes people would offer me things when we go places or when we in a conversation and they're like, oh, why don't you do this and that? I say, honey, I love myself too much to go do that. I love myself too much to go smoke cigarettes. I love myself too much to go do drugs, do illegal drugs. I love myself way too much to go hang out and go to some crazy party where I know I might not come home. You know, I always tell them, I'm like, and they know now too. Sometimes when if they doing something stupid, and and if somebody like make a comment, or they're new around and they try to get me involved, they're like, she loves herself too much, honey. She's not gonna do this kind of thing, you know. So it's just some stuff are not worth it. They're just not worth it. When you know yourself, you know exactly what's not worth it, what's not worth your time, what's not qualified in your arena of things to do. So just be willing to love unconditionally, love yourself unconditionally. Know that you don't need someone to be happy, you need yourself to be happy. If you don't have yourself, that's when you might not be happy. Because what would be the point if you're not here? Well, what can you love? So that's why while you're here, you need to learn to love yourself. And when you learn to love yourself, other people will learn to do the same. Other people will come out of nowhere and love you. People will come, they'll love you regardless, just because they don't have a choice. You love yourself so well, so good, that they have no other choice but to love you. Stay secure. Be secure with yourself. When you love yourself, you become secure. You have self-confidence. You become confident with yourself. People can say things. People can try to be negative about you, but you will love yourself, no matter what, because you're gonna love yourself. You're gonna remain secure. Somebody can tell you put on some pounds. You look like you darker. You look like you lighter. You look like you this. You look like you that. Your hair fell out. It doesn't matter what they say. You're still gonna be able to love yourself, because that's what you were doing even before they say what they're saying right now. And focus on each other. When you're in couple, when you're living a couple life, focus on each other. Don't wait until something happens. Don't wait until the other get cancer. Don't wait until the other have a life-threatening disease for you to be like, oh, I'm gonna love you. Don't worry, I'm gonna be there for you, or even run away. Don't wait for something tragic to happen for you to realize that this person mattered to you. Don't wait for a bad accident. Don't wait for them to die to realize that this person was so worth it. This person was so kind, so loving, and then now they're gone. What am I gonna do? Don't wait for that to happen, because a lot of people you see sometimes they're not able to remarry, they're not able to enter a relationship with someone. It's not a matter of this person is not able to love again, which is always the perception. But a lot of times, some people that are not able to move forward with their life, it's because they didn't take the time to really love the person and appreciate the person that was in their life when they were alive. And then suddenly, brutally, this person may end up being dead. This person may end up being killed. This person may end up being kidnapped. This person may disappear at sea. This person may just, something just happen. And it's like, dang, did that just happen? I didn't get a hug. I didn't get a kiss. And that's how you leave me. Have you ever gone to a funeral and then you see, the other partner or families, are they do? How dare you leave me like that? How could you do this to me? How could, and you know why? It's because you didn't get to love that person when they were alive. If you love them, you just would be like, oh man, peace be with you. I'm gonna miss you. But because you didn't get to do the things you wish you could have done, so now when this person is gone, it's like, oh, how could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? How could you? Why did you do this to me? Why would you leave me like that? But guess what? This person didn't leave you. This person didn't get up and say, you know what, I'm going to leave you today. No, this person did not do that. Life took a bitter turn, and say, you know what? That suit is expired. It's time for you. It's time for you, for your soul to exit this suit. This bodysuit you got on. It's not forever. You're lucky if you see 100 years old. This bodysuit expires as the years go by. It's like sometimes it expires earlier. Things have took a turn that we've never seen before. I mean, you grow up, Seldom do parents get to bury their own children. Usually it's children that bury parents. But now you can watch so many children get to bury. And I say children, I'm not talking about adults. I'm talking teenagers. I'm talking babies, newborn. Children are burying their parents at a rate that we've never seen before. So when you have somebody in your life that wants to love you, love them back. And if you can't love them back, leave them the hell alone. Leave them alone. I think, who is it, Bob Marley, that says, don't wake a love that you know you can follow through with. I mean, that's not the exact quote, but it's something like that. Maybe I'll get the quote because I know I have it somewhere here. I can get the proper quote and get back to you. But it was something of that nature. If you know that you not gonna be able to, you're not gonna be able, because you know when you're not gonna be able to love someone. It's not while you're loving the person. It's not while you're together and you realize like, oh, we can't love each other. We better let it go now. That's not true. You know, from the minute you approach somebody, from the very first minute you spend with them, you know if you want to be with them or not. You might challenge yourself and say, you know what, let me give it a try. And then you get to know the person some more. You try to convince yourself. But guess what? If you want somebody, it does not matter. You could have met that person tonight. You could have slept with that person tonight. You're still in love with them no matter what they did. This person could have lied to you, could have told you they had a house, they had a boat, and you wanted them. Guess what? You will forgive them and you will move forward. But if you didn't want that person, you just wanted to waste their time, you just wanted to go over some personal issues you were having, because a lot of time people get caught up in their feelings. They have a little problem at home in their own relationship. They get out of it. They come, they find the next victim. They give them a bunch of lies, tell them, oh, my wife don't love me no more. She don't spend time with me. She's always working. And then next thing you know, they go in a situation, boom, the other person is pregnant too. Now you have your wife pregnant, your girlfriend pregnant. What the hell you gonna do? So you want peace in your life? Be consistent. Work for the peace that you want. Don't let things happen and then wondering like, oh, how did it happen? Oh my God. Stop making excuses. Let it go. It's not working out. Let it go. Talk to the other person and say, listen, I don't think it's working out. I'm sorry for wasting your time. What can I do? Is there anything I can do? Can I give you a ride home? Can I give you cab money? I'm sorry it's not working out. I truly am sorry. But don't stay into something you know that's not going to work out. You know this person is doing that thing that you cannot tolerate. You know this person is being that person that you know you cannot tolerate. You know that this person is smoking and drinking. You know you can't tolerate it. Let it go. Don't sit in it and then be miserable and go around town telling everybody how stupid this man is, how stupid this woman is, how cheating how much they cheat on you, how much they do, and then you're still there. Why are you still there? Why are you still there? If they're no good, why are you still there? So do what you need to do. Listen to yourself before you talk to people. Listen to yourself and see if you're making any sense with what you're saying. All right? So be consistent. Like I said, focus on the two of you. If you know that you don't want something, don't focus on it. Focus on what you want. Focus on what works. Focus on what is working, so you can duplicate that process, so then things can be even better. Don't make any commitment that you cannot keep. Don't say anything that you cannot follow through with. Everybody needs to feel secure. Everybody needs security. Everybody needs to feel that they belong somewhere. Somebody cares about them. Everybody want to experience unconditional love. They forget to love themselves, but they're hoping that you can love them. And little do you know, you do promise that you're going to love them unconditionally. So they're hoping for that. When you say something, keep up with your words. Don't upset any spirit. Don't upset anybody with your words, with your action. Let your action and your words be the same. If you say you won't do something, let it be that you do it. Don't just talk about things. Make sure you apply them. Don't preach all these things that you know you can't keep up with. when when things happen in your life, something happened, you're not feeling well, you don't know what to do, you're not sure, you were supposed to pass that test, you didn't pass, and then now, you start feeling bad about it, and now you think it's her fault, it's his fault, because they wouldn't leave you alone, you got so much responsibility. That's not true. If you didn't pass, it's just because you didn't study hard enough. You didn't pass because you didn't understand whatever that was going on. So make an effort. If you need help, ask for help. But don't start going around town blaming people. Don't start saying you didn't go back to school because you had to marry this person. This person wouldn't leave you alone. I remember there was this guy, oh my God, he was like, oh yeah, I was moving on with my life, but she just wouldn't stop. She just wouldn't leave me alone. So I married her so she could leave me alone so I can go back to school. But then we ended up having kids. So now I wasn't able to go back. I wanted to be a doctor. Now I couldn't become this doctor. I wanted to be a lawyer. I couldn't do it. And I can't go back to school. But why can't you? You have your parents here. She has her parents there. They all within like few minutes, not even half hour. They're like within 15 minutes of both of you. You're blessed enough to have all that. You have siblings within 30 minutes. So why can't you go back to school? You both are making money. You can afford a babysitter. Why can't you go back to school? So a lot of times you have those people that are just like little kids who always like to blame other people for their mistakes, for their mishap, for their laziness, for the things that they don't do. They always feel like blaming someone else and say, hey, this person caused me not to do it. In the meantime, when the other person support them to become what they become, they never remember to give them credit, to say, you know what, thank you for studying with me every night, thank you for helping me, for editing my work when I write. Before I publish my article, you always read them and correct them. Thank you so much. Thank you for being there for me when I take my pictures. You tell me which ones are the best. You help me. You help being my eyes. When I'm publishing my books, you help me pick out the cover. You help me, gathering the proper chapters together. You help me be consistent. When I paint, you help me pick out good titles, good theme to be consistent with. You help me find good dealers to pay me good money. Like people don't remember to give credit, but they remember who to give blame to. People don't say thank you. Thank you, my parents, for helping me, for sending me to school, for being tough on me, because today I'm a better person. But they will say, they're the reason that why I can't trust, because they never take me to the ice cream parlor. I never knew kids could do that, and da 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 da. No, not if you want to blame someone, that's mean this person also should get all the credit when you succeed. So let's do right, not only by ourselves, you know, let's do right not only to ourselves, but let's do right by other people. Let's do right by our partner, our kids, our siblings, our families, our members, um, um, our family members. Let's do right by them too. Let's remember to say thank you. Let's remember, since we are in a process of relationship and we tend to keep relationship for partners, for intimate partners, for loving partners. So, find the best in each other. Talk about how wonderful you make me feel when I come home, when you hug me and you kiss me. Talk about how good you make me feel when I wake up and breakfast is already on the table. Talk about uh, how grateful you are for having someone to give you a massage when you're so tired when you come from work. You know, talk about the wonderful thing, how we good to one another. That's why back in the days when things were a little bit rougher, there was no such problem. People learned to get along because they needed each other to survive. But nowadays we have so much access, which is good. But at the same token, we have access. We also forget how to live next to one another. We all become robotic in our daily lives. We wake up, we shower, well, for some of us, and we eat. We jump in the car. We go to work. we come back. And a lot of times I've seen people who work at the same place or next to one another, the same shift, but they still each drive their own cars. To me, that show me there's lack of dream, there's lack of plan, because are we saving together or are we depleting together? Are we destroying together? You know? But anyhow, as I promised, I just wanted to give you some suggestions, some ideas, some things that you can use to move forward with your life. Um, because there's just so much. There's so much that we can talk about. You know, I want my prayer for you is that you can find the best in your partner and your partner can do the same, and that you can be glad and grateful for being in a relationship. Um, because a lot of people are not in a relationship and they hope they could be. So I just hope the best for you. Just remember, no matter how good or bad things get, um, someone will always be willing to take your partner. So if your partner, some people be like, oh, he's a pig and she's nasty. And trust me, somebody want them. The minute before you even drop them, somebody else will pick them up. And sometimes people think, oh, they got kids. They got 3 kids, 4 kids, 5, 7 kids. Listen, I have seen people with 7 kids who always find a partner. So when you find someone who that loves you and you love them, and find a way to make it work. Don't jump the gun so quickly that you can't even realize the magic in each other. Because everybody's special. Everybody's amazing in their own way. Everybody got something good about themselves. If you're not sure how good this person is, sometimes let them go to their family. Allow them, pay for a vacation for them. Let them go on vacation by themselves. And there was a little cutting on the thing, but pay for a vacation for them. Allow them to go away, go see their family or something. And you'll see, allow you some space when you need it. So, as I said, just try to look at each other, find the magic in each other instead of finding the blame in each other. Stay in that space together, in that head space where you both can understand one another. And when you're not sure sometimes, talk to one another and try to figure out what it is that you can do to make things better. And be willing to take the blame. Now, I'm not saying get the blame, but take the blame. Before, when the person comes and finally apologize to you, apologize to them too. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, say, you know what, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry too. Maybe there's something I could do to make this better. And before you know it, that will make our relationship so much better. Because a lot of times the relationships that are working, it's not because the people are perfect. It's not because they know better than you. It's not because they know more than you. But it's just because they're willing to listen to one another. And they're willing to understand when they're wrong, to apologize, to not make things last. Some people will go like the whole year, keep blaming each other, keep pulling tricks on each other. Keep doing things that are so pathetic. This one will wake up earlier and make a mess and then leave it for the other one to clean. And like they keep doing things to upset one another. I'm like, you really want to live your life like this? Like that actually make you happy? I never understand that because, as I said, I can't take these kind of things. When things are going left for me, I sit down and I tell you, listen, this thing you're doing right here is bothering me. It's annoying me. And most of all, it's hurting me. So I know quickly if you care about me or if you care for me, because you will do what it requires for you to be in my life. But if you're not making any effort, to see if you can help me, or you're not making any effort to help me to say, okay, I see what you meant and I'm sorry I hurt you. And can we move forward? Can we move past this? So I know you don't care, because a lot of times that's what we fail to do. We forget to assess our situation every now and then, maybe not even maybe, but every now and then, maybe once a month, maybe even every week, you could stop and say, are we good? Is everything okay? Is there, did I do anything this week to make you upset? Is there something I can do better? How can I love you better? Because every day we a different person. Every day we growing, we expanding, or we shrinking. But I'm praying and I'm hoping that if you're listening to this from this day on, or from yesterday, or by the time this is over, that you're going to keep expanding every day. You're going to keep being better and better and better and better and better and better. That you're not going to keep withdrawing from being a better human being. Because what else is there besides being a better human being? So do the best that you can to be the best that you can. When things are not working out, don't run out. Stay. Have a conversation. Talk with one another. Find out what we were doing to upset the other, to see what we can do at this point to make it work. If it didn't work out, I'm sorry. I apologize. But it's the past. Now you have the future to look forward to. You have the present waiting on you. So I believe that you can do better. You're special. You're amazing. You're a good person. You might have done some bad things, but you didn't know any better then. You know better now. And to which much is given, much is also required. So I hope this sank through just a little bit deeper than the ones before. I hope that you're able and most likely willing to take a leap of faith and to see how far this thing can go. I hope it works out. And I want to thank you for taking the time, for allowing me in your home, in your car, in your living room, in your kitchen, wherever it is that you're listening, in your backyard, in your special room, in your prayer room. I don't know where it is that you are. Maybe on your porch, sitting down and listening to this. But wherever you are, I want to thank you for allowing me in your space, for allowing me in your head, for the little bit of time that we had. And I hope really from the bottom of my heart that things work out for you. I just wanted to share some of my ideas, my suggestion, my experience with you. And I hope that you get it. I didn't tell you because I'm not sharing this with you because you're not good enough. I'm not sharing this with you because you're not able, but I'm sharing this with you actually because I know that you are able. I know that you are better, but it's just a matter of remembering. A lot of times if my kids make a mistake and I consider that they seldom make a mistake because we talk so much. If something goes on, we talk about it, so it doesn't even become a mistake. It's just an experience. It's just something happened. And now it's like we're moving forward. And for that, it's not only for them. Sometimes it's me. I may have made a mistake. I may have think this person was a good friend or it was a good match and it didn't work out. And then we got to talk about it. So no one has to resent me and I don't have to resent them because we talk about things. And that's been the greatest part of our relationship, is just that we take the time to talk about things. We can pick on each other. We can laugh about things, even the things that hurt sometimes, we can realize that, listen, this was the past. This is something that happened and it's not happening right now. It's just something that I needed to learn and I learned. So now we're moving forward. So again, I'm not telling you and sharing anything with you because I'm perfect, But I'm still on that road. I'm still on the journey as well with you. I'm just your sister in love and prosperity and peace and kindness and happiness. I'm just hoping that you can get a little piece of that pie called peace, joy, love, and happiness. I'm just hoping that you can reach your full potential, because I know it's challenging to reach our potential, because a lot of times it takes time to get there. And some of us become frustrated. We quit before we even get there. So, again, I just wanted to thank you for even being willing to listening to everything that I had to say, everything that I had to share for a little bit of conversation. So, again, I wish you well. I hope that something that was said here can help you to be a better human being. I hope that you take the time to share with your friends, because somebody somewhere needs to listen to this. And I'm not doing this hoping to to start any controversy. I'm not looking to fight with anybody. I'm not looking to start anything negative with anybody, but I'm sharing with you hoping to start a conversation, hoping that a conversation can start in your own home, hoping that you don't lose your family, that you guys can actually sit down and have a conversation before you throw in the towel. Because you listen to this doesn't mean that it's going to fix your relationship, but because you listen to this might give you an opportunity to look at your relationship differently, to remind you, first of all, why you are where you are, that it was not by accident. There is no such thing as accident. Everything is very purposeful. Everything happens for a reason. So I hope you'll be able to sit back, find out what were your reasons. When you woke up that morning, when you went that afternoon to talk to this lady, when this lady responded to you, why did you guys do it? Why did you decide that it was a good idea to get together? So I just want you to get back in your head and and make a decision. You know, figure out, is this a good idea to walk away now, or can we talk about it and see what we can do? Thank you so much for listening. Again, this is your sister Queen, hoping to have had a good conversation with you. Until next time, peace and love and blessing. Be good to you. Be good to your partner. Be good to your family, because that's how a community works. So I wish you well. I wish you peace. I wish you lots of love. And I definitely wish to hear from you very soon. Goodbye.